Plaintiffs Michael Birmingham and his wife Mary say the defendant is their daughter, and she started acting out at an early age and got pregnant when she was 15 by an adult. Michael claims every time the defendant gets mad at him, she files false police reports and restraining orders against him, so he's suing. Defendant Tiffany Masoner says from a young age, her father has been violent and abusive. Tiffany claims she saw her father hold a knife to her mother's throat and even threatened to kill Tiffany and the rest of the family. Tiffany's countersuing her parents for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, the defendant is my daughter. I really don't want to be here suing her, but I don't have any other choice with this matter. Her mother is extremely ill, and my daughter just continually puts us under a tremendous amount of stress.
How so?
Making false police reports on me, false restraining orders.
That's what you're suing about today?
Yeah, it's just...
Okay. Why don't you give me some earlier background on the relationship with you all and your daughter?
Well, Your Honor, when my daughter was 13 years old, we began having a lot of problems with her.
Like what?
Going out, staying out all night, going out with boys, staying out with boys all night, not letting us know where she was, what she was doing. And then at 15, she got pregnant. And it was by an adult male. We wanted to press charges against him for statutory rape, but she begged us not to. They eventually got married, and that was a huge mistake. We should have stopped that wedding.
Why? What happened?
That is a lie.
You didn't get married?
No, what he's lying about is the statutory rape. They allowed my now husband to sleep in my bedroom with me.
At the home?
Yes.
That's not true.
Sir?
He even lived
That's
with
not
us.
true, Your Honor.
lived
What
with
really
you?
happened is that she ran away from us, is what really happened.
And what happened after she was married?
Well, they kept getting into financial problems. She would bounce from job to job. They were constantly asking us for loans to pay their bills with, which we gave them.
That is not true, Your Honor.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
I would like to say that, yes, there was money borrowing, but it was back and forth. He would borrow money from us, and then we would borrow money
That's
from
not
them.
true, Your Honor. We didn't need to borrow any money from them. I drove truck for 39 years, Your Honor.
That's good money.
That's not true either, Your Honor. He did not drive truck. He did not drive a truck for 39 years. He did not become a truck driver until I was about 12 years old, and I'm 39 right now.
Okay, 27 then.
Yeah, 27 years, that would be true.
What do you and your husband do?
My husband is a brick, block, and stone mason.
How long has he been doing that?
He's been doing that for about 12 years.
Nobody should have to
That's
borrow
not
money.
true, Your Honor.
Everybody has good jobs.
And if I may, Your Honor, our last name is Masoner.
Okay.
And my husband is
so
a mason.
he's doing what he was born to do.
Yes, his.
All
Yes.
right.
Well, it's probably a good thing that his last name is Masoner, Your Honor, because he only went to the 5th grade or 6th grade.
That's not true, Your Honor. My husband
Let's get off of that. Let's get
My
to.
husband went to 11th grade.
All right. Let's get to the loans and
Your Honor,
defamation.
Your Honor, every time that she gets mad at me, she goes and files false police reports, false restraining orders against me.
Describe what you're about to hand me.
They told me that she had a total of 15 of them on me.
Against you.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Quiet. Against
I have
you.
5.
Yes. Against me.
How many do you have there?
I've got...
Try to count them up. Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
About these reports.
In my entire life, I've experienced physical and emotional abuse.
Give me an example.
When I was 10 years old, I watched Michael take my mother into a bathroom with a knife to her throat and told me, my brother, and my sister that he was going to kill our mother.
That's not true.
That's not true, Your Honor.
When
Not
I
true.
was 15, I was emancipated. But before I was emancipated, and Mike found out that I was pregnant, he went out and got drunk one night and came home, got a butcher knife out of the kitchen drawer, stabbed it into the counter, turned around and said, I'm going to kill everyone, and I'm going to start with you. He chased me with the butcher knife, and as I ran up the stairs and closed the door behind me, he stabbed the butcher knife through the door 3 times, and then he disappeared.
Sir, is this true?
No, that's not true, Your Honor.
Nothing of the sort
That's
ever happened.
totally
Complete
false.
lie.
That is totally lies,
Nothing
Your Honor.
of the sort, ma'am, has ever happened.
I have a
wouldn't be with
statement
you
She
from
made
now.
this up.
Yes.
You
I have a
what?
statement from my
She
sister.
just like
All
these
the other
restraining
things.
orders she
She
made
says
up.
she has a statement from your other daughter, ma'am.
Yes.
We have one too.
Oh, we have a statement from my
the
other
same daughter.
Yeah.
Let me see your statement, and let me see your statement. She is telling both of y'all what y'all want to hear. You want me to write a statement saying you're right? Okay. Mama, you want me to write a statement saying you're right? Okay. Here you go. Both of y'all have your statements. I'm saying what you want me to say. I'll say what you want me to say. This is yours?
Yes, that is my 30-year-old sister's.
You have to read the pertinent parts because that's 5 pages long.
Sure, I'll read it. I'll be happy to read it. Okay, she says, I remember Mike Birmingham taking my mother into the bathroom. I remember Mike holding a knife to her throat, telling us kids he was going to kill her, and then slammed the door. And I don't remember what happened after that, except for I was crying and upset.
That's a defamation of character, Your Honor.
Right, and that's what you're suing her about.
Yes,
and
sir.
so that's why I'm listening to whether you have a history of any violent action or irrational behavior that would allow her to legitimately say something negative about your character. Because if any of it is true, then it's not defamation for her to say it. And she provides me with a letter where your other daughter says the same thing. So why would your other daughter say that?
I have no idea,
Because
but my
she feels
wife is
very
right here.
intimidated.
Because what?
She feels very intimidated by her older sister.
You see,
Oh, she coerced her on
she
this.
coerced her and intimidated her. It
So
says-
why? All right. So what happened
on
with
this
that one?
Mine is handwritten.
And that one.
Go ahead, sir. Let's get to the.
Your Honor, also, I don't know. She's telling lie after lie. She called up the Veterans Administration, Your Honor. She called up the VA and she told them a bunch of lies.
Like
she
what?
told my social worker a bunch of lies.
Like what?
And that I was crazy and that I was going to kill her and her family
May I
and
elaborate
go on
on
a
that?
killing spree.
If I may, Your Honor, my sister who wrote these statements is the one who told me that Mike was going to go on a killing spree and start with me. I am not the one who made that statement.
Does your sister say that?
Yes. Well, it's also in the police report where my sister states Mike's threats. Thank you.
Sir, what's your loans for? How does she owe you for loans?
Other two false police reports.
Police says he spoke with Dory West. Dory stated that during the drive, Michael stated that if Dory and Tiffany's mother died, he would get his gun and go on a shooting rampage. This daughter wrote that. Mm-hmm. This daughter told the police that.
Yeah, with her telling her exactly
No,
what to
sir.
say.
Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, on the 29th of March, they were up at the hospital, her and her husband, and they were camping out over there in the family room. And her and her husband were out in the hallway and they were raising their voices at each other, calling each other names. And
Again, that is not true, Michael.
and my wife said they can't
We
keep
never
doing this
argued
because
in front of my mother,
I'm under
ever.
a tremendous amount of anxiety here. The security guard had to escort them out of the
That is
hospital
not
on
true.
the 1st of March. Because I got her thrown out of the hospital, she went and made all these false
Saying what?
restraining orders.
After my sister said you were going to kill me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's in the police report. Sir, you haven't said one thing to prove your defamation claim. What are the unpaid loans you're suing her for?
She caused us to file bankruptcy because I went over.
Tell me when you loaned her money and when she was supposed to pay and when she failed to pay.
It was in 1998, and she was living over in Kokomo,
Is that
Indiana.
the last loan, 1998?
She was working
Is
as
that
a
the last
stripper.
loan,
No, that
1998?
No, so there were
Give me
more.
the last loan.
2005.
She borrowed $350 to fix her transmission on her Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
She borrowed $350 around the same time for a tattoo gun.
When did she
borrowed it?
agree to repay you?
She said that she would give it to us when she could, and I
Okay,
agreed with
ma'am,
that.
what do you say to these loans?
To the tattoo gun loan, that is true, but it was back in 1997. He actually there
What
were
else, ma'am? Move on then to the loans of 2005.
The 2005 that is not true. I did not borrow any money for a car in 2005.
Did you borrow any money in 2005?
No, sir.
Sir, do you have any evidence that she did?
I couldn't find a
Okay,
canceled
well, I
check.
can't grant you a judgment. I can't rely on either of you all's testimony because you all have so much bitterness against each other. You're liable to make everything up and throw in the kitchen sink if I allow you to. Both your claims are dismissed. You should work your family problems out and not in a court. Have a good day.